Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Now today we are taking a look at the Transformers Legacy Commander class Armada Optimus Prime. And of course, since it's Christmas, I thought I should decorate the place a little bit, make it feel a bit more festive, so there. But we're just gonna get straight out of the way and get straight to the figure today because we have a lot to talk about. So starting off with, we have the vehicle mode. Now the vehicle mode looks great, looks pretty accurate to the one in the anime, and I really have no complaints in terms of looks. The trailer does have flip out legs, so you can get it to stand on its own, so, in case you're wondering. Now, the wheels on the truck are pinned, so that's really nice. It means it rolls really well. However, if you're wondering if the treads are real, unfortunately, no, but there are fake wheels under the treads, which means that too also rolls really well. Now the gun is removable, so you can have the trailer without the gun, and you can put a deluxe class vehicle on there, which is quite nice. However, there are some problems with the figure. One of them being that there are stress marks with the connection point with where the turret connects with the two legs of the trailer, and I'll explain why they're legs later, unless you already know because you watch Transformers Armada or just know Transformers Optimus Prime from Armada. But basically they're the super mode legs, and when they attach to the turret, it did cause stress marks because of how tight it was. So normally when I leave it in or when I transform it into vehicle mode, I just don't tab those two legs in. And then this is a problem for some people that I heard of. For me, it's not a big deal, but the turret sometimes comes off. For me, it's pretty solid. Doesn't come off very often, but if it does, you can just reattach it. So not a big deal as well. There are some paint scratches on the side of the trailer, which is unfortunate, but once again, it's kind of more of a nitpick and an unfortunate thing, but it's not a terrible deal. Now, onto the truck, some issues I have is that while the truck does look great, you can definitely see some robot hands in there. Like, it's pretty obvious what those are. And of course, they use clear plastic for the windshield, even though I can't really see what the crap they're even trying to show me, honestly. And there's kind of a small gap on where I guess the truck door should be, but it's not a terrible deal. You don't really notice it that much, so it's just there. Now, one minor nitpick is that there's a little flap on the top of the truck that flips up and down for the robot mode and super mode. And on my copy, it's actually a little crooked. On the camera, you can't really see it, but in person, it's pretty noticeable. But once again, it's a minor nitpick. So there's that. In terms of accessories, he comes with a gun, which looks really nice. However, it is a little big in his normal robot mode. Now, onto the transformation of this figure, which I'm actually just going to talk about it in general, which is that it's pretty good. It's not terribly complex, but it's also not as simple as you would think it is. And overall, it's just an enjoyable transformation. I don't really have a lot of complaints about it. Don't forget to flip out the computer screen like I did. And now onto the base mode, or at least I think it's the official base mode. To be honest with you, whenever Transformers has a base mode, I don't really care that much. And in this case, it's fine. It's kind of boring, to be honest with you. Like, there's nothing there. Yeah, you can put a mini-con on it, but that's about it. One thing I would recommend doing is actually twisting the turret the other direction, because there's a lot more holes that you can use blast effects parts on, so that you can make it look really cool and actiony. But yeah, that's the base mode for that. Not a lot to talk about. In terms of the robot mode, now the robot mode looks great. I really like it, and I don't really have any complaints about how it looks, but there are some minor nitpicks I have about the articulation of the figure, which is that it's kind of weird how it works. Like, the shoulders look weird when you start moving them, and the knees can bend the other direction because of transformation reasons, and so that can be a little weird to work with. And the ankles have a tilt, but you can see the robot hands pop out when you tilt it, so yeah. Guess you're not tilting those ankles after all. You just see robot hands behind it. Yeah. The leg flaps are also kind of annoying. Whenever I'm trying to work with them, they end up popping out. And what's really unfortunate is that when I was unboxing the figure, inside of the box, the leg flaps were stored in a way where it was like bent out. So now when you take the figure out, it's kind of just permanently stuck in that outward bend, which is annoying, but it's not, once again, a lot of the problems with the figure is kind of more nitpicks than anything. It's not a deal breaker. And the badge is removable, so if you want Optimus Prime looking at the Autobot badge in like an honor sense, you can do that. What's cool is that this Optimus Prime does have chest details under the Matrix compartment. And the Matrix is not just your generic G1 Matrix, it's the actual one from Transformers Armada, which is awesome. And it is removable. Although Optimus Prime can't really hold it because it doesn't have movable fingers. His arm cannons are also removable, although do be careful with them because I did accidentally chip some of the chrome. But with that, let's get on to the real reason why we all got this figure, and that's the super mode.
When will you learn, Optimus, that you will never be able to stop me due to how weak and pathetic you are? You lay here kneeling before me, yet you have the audacity to call yourself a Prime. You are no Prime, Orion. Whether or not I have the Matrix or not does not matter, Megatron, for I will always stop you, because I have one thing you fail to realize. I have plot armor! Okay, that may be able to stop me.
Now the super mode looks great. There's only really two problems I can think of in terms of looks, which is that the eyes are yellow instead of red, which is not a big deal, and I'm sure you can probably fix that somehow. And the backpack on it is pretty big, but the rest of it looks amazing. Now I forgot to pull out the gun barrels on the legs, so if you're wondering why I wasn't in some of the shots, it is now. From going on forward to the rest of the video, it'll be there, but yeah, that's why I wasn't there in the beginnings. Now the posability is great. It has a lot of ratchet joints, so it feels nice and tight and just feels great to mess around with. It even has ankle tilt for this big thing, which I'm honestly really impressed with. Now the shoulders are a little weird to mess around with because they're just 3 flaps held together, so they might end up popping out when you're trying to mess with the shoulder, so do be careful with that. Another thing is that the leg skirts have a tendency to kind of lock in or tab into the hip joints. So if you're ever trying to mess around with the legs and it feels like something's stuck, it's probably because of those leg flaps. And then there's a stress mark in his crotch. Don't know why, it's just there. I should mention it, so I did. Now, one thing I want to say is that the blue sections in the super mode legs, when I was first taking it out and trying to transform it, they were stuck. Like, I could not move them. Eventually, I was able to get them out, but I think the reason was because the paint had melted onto the other plastic, and so it got stuck, or the paint made the plastic tab a little too thick and ended up basically causing a lot of friction and just getting that piece stuck in there. So if that happens to you, just be careful. Here is Armada Optimus Prime next to Legacy Armada Megatron, Legacy Armada Hotshot, Legacy Armada Starscream, and Legacy Minicon Jolt. And here is those same figures next to the super mode. And so, what are my overall thoughts on the figure? I think it's great. I think it's great if you're thinking about or interested in the figure. I do recommend it. Aside from those flaws, which are kind of minor, and when you think about the whole thing as a package, you got the robot mode, you got the vehicle mode, the base mode if you're into that, the super mode, which is awesome. It's really like a full package in terms of the Armada Optimus Prime, and I think it's just great. I love it. I love Transformers Armada. I love Optimus Prime, and so I'm pretty happy with my purchase. And if you are into it, I recommend picking it up. But yeah, that's about it for this video. Now this is probably gonna be the last video for Christmas, so I hope you all enjoyed. And if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you celebrate any other holiday, Happy Holidays. And if you don't, then have a good day or break if you're in school. Or if I'm just gonna stop there. I didn't know what else I was gonna say, so yeah. Bye.